Welcome to my studio. My name is Astrid Reeves, and this is another episode of Astrid's Art Studio. So today I'm going to be talking about sealing this wooden panel. This is a wooden panel, and you actually need to seal it on both sides before you can paint on it. So here I am. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? And with what? Here it is. Found it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is golden gloss medium. There we go. Can you see it? There it is. And this is what you use to seal a wooden panel. They used to recommend, Golden used to recommend another product that they had. They have these numbered products that all do different things, and I think it was either 100 or 200. But if you look on their website, I'll try to remember to put the link down below to the page where it says they've updated what they recommend to gloss medium. And so that's what I'm going to use. I've already put 3 coats. Oh my gosh. I've already put 3 coats on the back. You can kind of see it's very glossy, you know, and so you definitely want to. So I just started with the back, and I've got 3 coats on here, and now I've got 1 coat on the front, and I'm going to put another 2 coats on. It dries very fast. It's very dry in my studio right now. Actually, it's gotten up to 30% humidity. Exciting. I'm very excited. My hands love it. They get so dry with the. Anyway, enough about me. So, yay. So yes, so let's put it on another coat, shall we? And then I'll explain why you do this, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna pour a little bit into here. I'm just using leftover Tupperware container, and just gonna pour some in here, just pour it out just a little bit, doesn't take much, you know, and then I'm just going to apply a coat. Now they recommend 2 to 3 coats. I'm just going to go ahead and do 3. And then after this, I'll gesso. So it's pretty labor intensive. If somebody wants to know why a piece of artwork costs so much, especially on a wooden panel, well, I don't know about if that's more the case. But anyway, I like painting on wooden panels. That's the original surface that was painted on back in the day. And yeah, so here we go. So I just think it's kind of fun. Here we go. It just goes on real smooth. Just do a nice thin coat, and then let it dry. Oops. The first layer I put with the grain, and now I'm doing it against the grain, and I'm just kind of evening it out. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but it's, yeah. Anyway, I gotta work fast to get that layer on and let it dry. I've already done the sides, so I don't need to do that. And like I said, I'm just kind of smoothing it out. Like I said, in a little bit I'll go over why I'm doing this. It's always important to understand why. Little kids ask why. Why? So, you know, it's important to understanding why you do something the way that you do, and you know what the purpose is of it as well. Okay, there we go. I think I've got a nice smooth layer on. I'm just gonna smooth out the edges. I don't need any extra. What is my favorite thing? Paper towel. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness for paper towel. Anyway, and I do sand in between coats lightly. It's not a big deal, but you know, because I'm gonna be painting on it anyway, and it'll just add texture or whatever. I don't do the type of paintings where it needs to be super smooth, you know, and so that's why I do that. Okay, good. So let this dry and put on the last coat in a little bit. Dry, and I just need to put one more coat on it, and then it's ready to gesso. All right, so let's put another layer on. It's pretty smooth, so I don't need to really sand it, although I have a couple rough spots. Let me just take those off. You can just use a regular sander, and I'm just using my hands to go over it. There we go. Okay, good. That is ready to go. So let's put another layer on. Make sure it's dust free. And here I've got remember I'm using golden gloss medium to seal my wooden panel. And I'm just gonna go this way. And get that panel sealed real nicely. I did learn English in school. Nicely. And that's it. Real simple. Just, you know, 3 easy steps, 3 coats. So today I'm actually going to go over something with you. I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I want to, before I get into that, I actually want to go over some words. You know, just like in any field of study, there's terminology. I studied pharmacy. Oh my God. All the medical terminology, you know, it's incredible. So same way with art, right? And I have to admit, I wasn't expecting that when I first got into it. I'm like, colors, you know, whatever. You know, how hard can that be? Well, it can get pretty technical. So anyway, so I wanted to see if I could go over something and just kind of maybe help you guys out, because every time I figure something out, I want to pass it along to you, and that way, you know, you can know the right thing to do and not make the same mistakes, or, you know, have to go down the same research trail that I did, because I get lost down different research trails from time to time. So anyway, so if I can shorten the trail for you, then hey, you know, anything to help, right? The first word I want to talk about is the word substrate. What that means is a substrate is the base layer of something, right? Or a layer that's underneath another layer. So if you're talking about a wood panel, right? So then that's the substrate. That's what it is. It's a substrate because you put paint on it. The substrate is the layer underneath something else, okay? So obviously you're gonna put layers of paint on here, and so this is a substrate. I'm gonna give you some other examples of substrates. We have, so here's another wood panel, and then, you know, we have a canvas panel that's also substrate, and then watercolor paper. This is 300-pound watercolor paper. Love that sound. That's so cool. Anyway, so these are all substrates. You know, they are a base layer of something or a layer that's underneath another layer. Now, another word that you'll hear is support, right? So a support is material to which the paint is applied. So again, this could be a support, right? I'm gonna apply paint to this panel, and that's my support. And again, same thing with canvas. There's also support for paint, and watercolor particularly too. This is support is, I believe, in my travels through YouTube and the internet, seems to be used more for watercolor paper, the word support, you know. So Anyway, again, support is material to which the paint is applied. So it can be paper, it can be canvas, fabric. Those are all supports, okay? So then the next word is induce. To cause or bring about or to make happen, right? So what are some examples of induce? I've got one. The scary guy coming towards her induced her to run away, right? Or her level of debt induced her to control her spending, right? So it's something that makes something else happen, okay? And then the last word is discoloration. So that is to alter or spoil the color of, stain, right? So an example would be raspberries caused discoloration of her white blouse. That sucks when that happens. It's hard to get raspberry stains out. Or how many women have experienced hair discoloration from a bad dye job, all right? So those are examples of discoloration. So what I want to go over with you today is something called either support-induced discoloration or substrate-induced discoloration. So what does that mean? It means the substrate or support is causing discoloration of some sort. Wow, can't talk, right? So yeah, you know, so this, the wood panel, or it can be a canvas. I actually heard of an example. I'm part of a lot of different Facebook groups, you know, and somebody was saying why my acrylic painting became discolored, you know, what happened? What did I do wrong? And so whatever was going on with her canvas, you know, that support was causing discoloration of her painting. So for canvases, what you can do is gesso. Now the wooden panel, you have to seal first. And so that's what I was using before. The golden gloss medium. And I looked it up, it's actually golden GAC 100 that originally was being recommended to seal wooden panels, because wooden panels particularly are known for discoloring paintings. I mean, the potential is higher for that to happen, right, than canvas or paper or something. So anyway, so golden, I checked out the golden website, and they actually recommend gloss medium now. So that it's a better sealer for the wood panel, right? So what I did is look how glossy that is. It's so pretty. That, you know, people don't realize how much work and time this takes. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. This is my first panel that I'm sealing. And so I sealed 3 coats on the back, and then I did 3 coats on the front, and now it's ready to gesso. Yay! So after all that, now my panel is sealed, and that does 2 things. One, it you know, prevents the support or substrate induced discoloration from happening, because this is sealed. This is like, you know, putting plastic around something or whatever. It's not going to get through here. And it'll also prevent warping, you know, humidity from getting in there and warping the wood and causing problems that way too. So this is now perfectly sealed, ready to go. Nothing's gonna, you know, make anything bad happen, hopefully. You know, unless I run over it with my car or something. So, you know, something can always like take this thing apart. So anyway, yeah, so now it's ready to gesso. So I'm going to, now I could paint on this, but this doesn't, it's kind of slippery, you know, and so gesso actually puts back the, you know, something better for the paint to stick to, because it is absorbent. Gesso is actually absorbent, so it actually helps the acrylic paint stick to the panel. So the gesso sticks to the panel. The panel is sealed with a gloss medium, and almost sounds like, you know, the thigh bone is connected to the hip bone is connected to the anyway, oh my gosh. So anyway, so yeah, so panel, sealer, gesso, and then I'm ready to paint. And then what that does is, you know, you could skip all these steps, but then your painting might not be archival. So if you don't care about archival qualities or maintain, having your painting last a long time. I don't know, for some reason that's important to me. And so that's why I'm going over this and, giving you all the steps so that you too can make a painting that is 100% archival. All right. And so that this gets you off to a great start. All right, so let's gesso. So I'm going to gesso this panel, right? And I've got it up here so it's a little closer to me and it's easier for me to see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to, here's my big tub of gesso. This is what I use. I don't know if you could see that. And Utrex Professional Gesso. It's very white. It has a huge amount of titanium white in it. And it just makes a really nice white surface to paint on. So it's very creamy. Wow, I feel like I'm frosting a cake. I'm just gonna do one layer and then I have to let it dry and then do another, couple layers basically. So 3 layers of sealer, 3 layers, 2 thumbs up for gesso, and then this panel is finally, after all that work and all that time, is ready for painting. But I'm going through all that trouble so that I can ensure that my painting is archival, okay? Because I care about that quality, and it's just fun for me, and I feel better knowing that that's what I'm doing. So I'm willing to go the extra mile, and so now I'm just going to spread this around and put on a thin layer. It's interesting. This is the first time that I'm gessoing a sealed panel. This is pretty exciting for me. It's actually kind of cool, because the gesso really soaks into the wood if it's not sealed. And I haven't had any problem with support-induced discoloration or substrate induced discoloration, but I mean, not that much time has gone by, and I just don't want to take that chance. I'd be very sad if I had a beautiful painting and then all of a sudden, this color, just yellow color from the wood, comes through and messes up my painting. That would just not be good. Right? Yeah, interesting. This is feels different than just a plain wood panel. I like it. That's actually really cool. Feels very smooth, And before, I really noticed that the gesso really soaked in. It was, just got sucked into the wood. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it's almost, I mean, this is my opinion, that it seemed like the absorbency of the gesso got sucked up by the wood, so then not as absorbent for the paint layers on top, would be my guess. But so it seemed like to me. A lot of art and even life is just observation, what do you see? What's happening? Okay, looking good. Well, I am going to put 2 more layers on, and I can sand a little bit in between, if I'm not happy. But, I actually like texture in my paintings. It provides an unexpected element to it. And, it's no fun to have everything perfectly controlled. That's not how I like to paint. So, I'll just work with it. Yeah, I'm going to stop messing with it now, and I'm just going to let it dry, and then I'll put another layer on. 2 more, actually, layers of gesso, and then I'll be ready to paint. Okay, well, thanks for listening and watching, and this was definitely interesting and fun for me. Something new and different to kind of go over some words, I'll see if I can find some other cool things to clear up and that might be causing difficulty for others. So, because I like doing that kind of stuff. That's just kind of fun. You like the light bulb goes on, you're like, oh, it means that? Oh my gosh, how fun is that? So anyway, so if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up and leave any comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. See you next time. Bye.